Looking forward to making some cupcakes with you this Food Tech Friday. I've got all my ingredients already weighed out in my bowls, so you'll want to do that. 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of whatever butter or margarine you have at room temperature, 2 eggs, 116 grams of self-raising flour, and whatever flavourings you've got. We'll go over them in a bit. We're going to pour the sugar all into the bowl and the butter all into the bowl and give it a good mix with a wooden spoon or whatever spoon you've got. And the more you mix it at this point, the fluffier they'll be. But yeah, just let the kids mix it until it's all together. So we need to add the eggs next. I'll always crack my eggs into a bowl that isn't the mixture, especially with the kids. As you can see there, I'm trying to pick out a little bit of shell that's fallen in. It's just easier than having to pick out the mix usually. If you get it stuck, just use a piece of the eggshell that you've got and it will come out using that. Give it a little beat with a fork like the boys are doing here, just to mix up the yolks and the whites. And then if you pop half of the egg into the bowl with the sugar and the butter, give it a mix. If you see the mix curdling, I've just put there, you can see a tablespoon of the flour in because the mix is starting to curdle. That's fine, just try and stop it from curdling. Then pop the other half of the egg in, another tablespoon of flour, just to stop the curdling at the end. Give it a good mix until it's all combined, and then we'll move on to the next step. So next step, add the remaining flour, whatever you've got left in your bowl goes into the bowl. Give it a good mix. You want to mix it until you can't see any flour in the mix and it's all nicely combined together. Then we're going to add some flavour. Get creative with the flavours now. If you don't have anything, don't worry, they'll taste great. It's cake. But if you have any pastes or essences, add a teaspoon of this and give it a mix. If not, any fruit you've got in the bowl with a rind, you can grate some lemon rind or orange rind into it and that will taste brilliant too. If you've got any drinking chocolate, cocoa powder, options hot chocolate, anything like that, and you take a tablespoon of it and pop it with a tablespoon of hot water to make a paste, if you put that in with your cakes, you're going to get that flavour, which will be really good too. So the boys picked vanilla and we've popped a teaspoon of the essence into the mix, giving it a little stir. And then we're going to add the mix into the muffin cases in my muffin tin, 1/2 to 3/4 full. If you don't have any cases, don't panic. Just cut out a disc of greaseproof paper and pop it in the bottom and a little bit around the edge, and that will allow you to pull the cupcake out without having to have a case at this point in time, because we might not have them. Then we need to bake them in the oven at a preheated 180 degrees for 20 minutes. We spent our time waiting for the cakes to bake and then cool, burning off some energy by having a little dance break, as you can see. Now you want to check if your cakes are done. Pop a skewer if you've got one or a very sharp knife in the middle of your cake. If it comes out clean, they're cooked. Leave them to cool. Now we're going to use 100 grams of softened butter, 200 grams of ice and sugar. Pop in a teaspoon of your flavour in and give it a good mix until all combined and the right consistency for spreading. Now's the part they've all been waiting for, ready to decorate. I've just given the icing a bit of a whisk with a tablespoon of hot water to make sure that they can spread it. Give them a teaspoon or a blunt butter knife and let them spread around the cupcakes, and then decorate with whatever you can find in the cupboards. My boys have chosen Haribo and marshmallows, but be creative and just have fun with it.